What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team stand up! Crime Reacts back at it again. It may be May, but June is on the way. We got Crime Reacts back at it again. Evil dad realizes cops found his disturbing secret. It's a new month, man. It's May. It's 5 months until the new year. And you still, some of y'all are out there doing that dirt. Some of y'all, man, don't realize how bad y'all are disrespecting me, man. 4 crime videos ago, you said you was going to stop. You said you was going to change your life. You thought about everything. You told me that it wasn't going to be worth it. And here you are, man. It's about to be the summer. What are you waiting for, dog? That technology's increasing every day. Are you really trying to ruin your summer? Stop doing that dirt way out there ahead, man, because you're going to get caught. When you get caught, you will be going away for a long time. Everybody will forget about you, and life will move on. Dr. Insanity once again. Let's check it out.
She's not back yet?
Not too long, either.
You mind if we take a look in her bedroom? Has she ever disappeared before?
She didn't leave without my permission. She does not text me when I text her.
What does she normally take with her when she leaves?
A phone tag, her phone.
Her phone's not in here.
I'm down.
She's been talking to you that farm around. Arguing here last night, or the night before, and you think any reason she would leave?
No.
Because rumor going around, people telling us that she was afraid to come home.
This is the moment Andy McCauley realized police were on his trail. Just hours earlier, his girlfriend's daughter, Riley Crossman, suddenly went radio silent, and police were quickly called to come and investigate. At first glance, it looked just like a messy teenager's bedroom with nothing out of the ordinary. But as the officers scoured through the clutter, unsettling details began to emerge.
This was her book bag. Debbie said she wore it, but she said the kids already went through everything. Tony. Squandy.
They would find items that a
The man
teenager
with
might
the sub.
typically take
Lil
if
Red
they were
on.
planning to run away.
What's up?
But as they begin to look even more, they start to notice blood. Blood was on her sheet, and more was found on her comforter. The cops were now certain that foul play had occurred, and something terrible happened to Riley. As they try to piece together the puzzle, police find themselves entangled in one man's web of deceptions and twisted lies, all crafted to conceal his one single disturbing secret.
Bro, one thing I always notice about majority of these crime videos, most of the time they always have some traceable footage going back from like the gas station and corner store and stuff. It's like, people never learn, man.
On May 2019, dispatchers received a call from a concerned woman reporting the disappearance of her 15-year-old daughter, Riley Crossman. As officers arrive at the scene, they come into contact with the caller, Chantel Oakley, and her boyfriend, Andy McCauley.
What's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a long time.
It's been a while.
Any word? You mind if we take a look in her bedroom?
Rich,
Has she ever
What's
disappeared
up?
before?
She didn't leave without my permission. She does not text me when I text her. This is the only mirror we have like this, so I came in yesterday morning, and I don't remember that being there.
13 on the block, Tay, what up?
Because this is not exactly the way it was. I've been in here digging.
Appreciate y'all mods for monitoring the chat.
Like that.
According to Riley's mother, this was unlike her, and she wasn't one to run off without telling anyone. A quick search of her room revealed that her belongings were untouched, except her bed, which was covered in bloodstains. This was highly suspicious, so officers quickly took a sample and sent it off for DNA testing. But for now, officers need to gather as much information as possible from people who last saw Riley, so they decide to question Andy about his whereabouts that day.
She's been talking to you that farm around. Arguing here last night, or the night before, and you think any reason she would leave?
No.
Because rumor going around, people telling us that she was afraid to come home. I don't know if that's, you hear how people go sometimes, but
That was nothing like that.
okay. So,
She wouldn't have to be here. I mean, they're right. They ain't like that. They never like that.
this is nothing.
Her
Yeah,
mom wasn't even home.
right.
She was at work.
No, you. They said that she got an argument.
No.
Black Outlash, get the sub. Thank you so
She
much.
was you can ask grandma. She was here doing dishes and everything. Grandma was here to some.
Oh, shit.
She's not back yet.
That was 100% by accident. That was on my other screen. Fucking. Alright, hold on. We know where we're at. We're not that far. 100% my bad, y'all.
was at the farm arguing here last night.
He was right here. He was right here. He was right here. My bad. My bad.
No. Okay. There's a rumor going around, people telling us that she was afraid to come home. I don't know if that's, I don't hear how people go now, but that was nothing like that. Okay. So she wouldn't have to be here. I mean, they're right. Anything like that. Never like that. He says nothing. Yeah. My mom wasn't even home. Right. She's at work. Yeah, you. They said that she got an argument with you. No.
Sicko Aim, what up?
No. She was. You can ask grandma. She was here doing dishes and everything. Grandma was here until 7:30. Okay. Debbie. Right. Yeah. When's the last time?
I don't know. He's looking
saw her?
sus right now.
9, maybe 10ish. At night? Yeah. And what context was that? She was here in the house. She went to bed probably. Well, I don't know what time she went to bed, but she was. All the kids were in the room by like 9:30. 9:30. Did she leave in the morning?
13 on the Blatte with a gifted tier. Thank you so much.
That's 5. Okay. Go to work.
According to family and friends, Andy was never an early riser. In fact, when police interviewed one of his colleagues, Johnny, he stated that he had to go to his house and repeatedly call him to wake him up. But on this particular day, things were different.
I'll call him and see if he's up. So that morning, do you remember if you called him or he called you?
Polo Stacking, what up?
I want to say he called.
But this was not the only strange thing about Andy that day. He also told police that he was at work all day, and when cops interviewed another one of his colleagues to verify his alibi, they found out that Andy had left work and was gone for nearly 5 hours.
Sus. I smell sus.
It's probably 2:45.
So he wasn't going a while. It was 4, almost 5 hours.
Because of this, detectives now know that Andy hasn't been completely honest with them so far, at least about staying at work the full day. This is very clearly a red flag and means that he's trying to hide something from them. But Andy might not be the only one hiding something, as officers would find out when they decide to look into Riley's boyfriend, Hayden. For the last 8 months, the two reportedly FaceTimed every night, so officers believed that if anyone was in contact with Riley the night before, it would be Hayden, and he was soon called in for an interview 2 days after Riley went missing.
Can you just tell us when you were last FaceTiming?
I was actually talking to her about the TC trip that was going on.
And do you know exactly what time?
10:30-ish.
On the night of Riley's disappearance, it just so happened that Hayden deleted all his messages with Riley because he did not want his mother seeing them. This is why detectives could tell that Hayden knows something, but because of his mother's defensiveness, he's unable to speak his mind.
I told him before not to delete his messages, but he isn't having it, deleting everything.
What do you know what her mom's lifestyle? Or what their relationship?
I don't really know much about mom.
I feel like she just isn't a responsible person. She'll just let her do whatever she wants. They had a dance, and she was wearing this short dress. She let her walk to the school by herself in this short dress. It's at night. Riley had way too much freedom.
Although this interview was not too fruitful, it pushed Hayden to come forward with a crucial piece of evidence afterwards. A series of disturbing text messages that Riley sent to him the night before she disappeared, saying that Andy was in her room and that she was scared. Immediately, all suspicion was further confirmed around Andy, and officers would later use this information to piece together this dark puzzle. But for now, finding out Andy's actual whereabouts and what really happened during the 5 hours that Riley was missing is crucial to the investigation, and the reason why Andy would be called in for questioning.
I just talked to Johnny, right? You saw him lately. Okay. Would you be surprised if you told me something completely different?
Flight_Curry Swirl. Thanks for the gifted sub, bro. That username's crazy.
We did go to, I'm sorry, we did, you're right. Okay. You're right. We did go to, and did a show.
How long were you there, Redfield?
Like the rest of the day.
Okay.
The rest of the day.
Okay. Were you at that house the entire time fixing the shelves?
No.
Okay. Where were you at?
I was at the other house.
Okay.
I went and got some more drugs.
If Andy was off doing illegal drugs during those 5 missing hours, then that could possibly explain why he didn't initially tell the cops the truth about where he had been all day. But this also could just be his way of trying to distract the police by bringing their attention to something
Andy looking
else.
a little sus,
At this
man.
point, detectives know that Andy is desperate to give them an alternate alibi, and his drug story could possibly be true. So to cross-check, they would call in Johnny again. Johnny had a history of drug use, and the two would often do cocaine together, so he can easily substantiate or discredit Andy's account.
Bro, imagine waking up and saying, hey, I'm gonna do some cocaine today. Like, bro, if y'all decide to turn up with y'all lives, man, only stick to tree and alcohol, man.
Would you say that there was enough to still do another line each? Oh, yeah. A couple lines each? Oh, yeah. Okay. So you wouldn't have to... You didn't need any more coke? No.
So now, Andy's story about going to get more drugs isn't adding up. His colleague had already told the cops that they had more than enough cocaine to get them through the rest of the day, so there would be no reason for them to go get more drugs. Realizing that Andy has been lying, the police decide it's time to confront him and get to the bottom of his deception.
What if I told you that I knew you weren't that Snowville, and you didn't buy drugs off anybody that day? See what I'm getting at? We went from this story to this story, now we're gonna get a third story. This is one of these times you really need to think of what you're telling me, okay? Because you're not being honest. Remember I told you about being honest and I'm not gonna just throw shit at you? I know you weren't there. I know you didn't buy drugs off your cousin, and I know you didn't use them in that parking lot that day. Where did you go when you left?
Went to my house to get the drugs.
Okay.
I already had them in my house.
Okay.
I already told you to tell. I still want to tell you I had them in my house.
So you go back home, you use your drugs, and then you go back to work, and then what?
Considering the discrepancies in each version of the story he tells officers, there is more than enough reason for officers to not trust Andy, like they would express.
I'm just telling you the whole part about
Brian, what up?
I'm being honest with you. I've been honest with you. I told you the shit that I didn't want to tell you.
Okay. You're being somewhat honest. I mean, we're doing some polling to get some information about some drug activity, which is us.
What up, Most Def Clubs?
But you know, we're having trouble pulling that out.
Cheesy
Because
bird.
I was worried about the names out there.
Okay, and I told you I don't care about that.
I didn't say that.
You told us about the drug activity, what, 2 nights ago?
I did.
Did I arrest you for it?
Your names or anything? Yeah.
The main reason for detectives pressuring Andy like this is because a record of his movements is crucial for this investigation. Usually law enforcement can just track a suspect's movements using their phone, but in Andy's case, he had supposedly left it at home the day that Riley went missing. Knowing that the more leniency detectives show to Andy, the bolder he would become in giving shady alibis, detectives decide to ramp up the intensity of the conversation, even more to make Andy nervous and slip up about his real whereabouts.
You know, the further along this is, whatever happens, and whoever did this to her, the worse off it gets for that person too.
Yes, hope so.
She was probably taken out of that house by somebody.
Yeah, I feel something that she was taking it that way, I feel. Because she'd be on by now. She wouldn't be her mom.
She was taken from that house, is what I'm saying. She didn't wander off. She didn't pack a bag and take her clothes, take her glasses, take a cell phone charger, take all her money. She had most of her money. Someone's going to go.
Her money was still in the book bag.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, if someone's going to run away or do something, they're going to make a little bit better effort, even for a 15-year-old.
I agree.
For a 15-year-old kid, they're going to at least have the necessities.
OG Gator!
Explicitly state
Top 10 gifted tier! My man OG Gator, Tone from the 716, what
the
up?
absurdity of the situation, Andy seems as cold
Get
as
it.
ever and won't crack about where he really was. But even in this situation, detectives have one piece of evidence that would cause the pressure to mount on Andy. The texts that Hayden had showed them. Once confronted with these, Andy's behavior changes immediately.
Yeah, of course it is.
What if I told you her last text to her boyfriend were saying, don't talk, because she still has to FaceTime one? Andy's in here. I'm afraid.
That's what it said.
What if I told you that?
Honestly, that's crazy.
I can put my hand on the Bible and tell you I saw those texts today.
Well, I like to see him because I know probably he is scared of me. I've never seen him.
Not only that, she said you were in here, and she was in her bedroom, because the FaceTime was stolen.
I was never in her room.
That's not what she's saying.
I don't go in her room.
Andy, I'm not lying to you.
I was not in her room, for one. And for two, the kid's not scared of her. There's no reason for her to be scared of me. I've been there in her life for a year and a half. Taking care of her, giving her these
But
meetings.
what we're saying Like, I get that, I hear it, but what we're saying is that's what she's saying. So obviously to her, he's afraid of something.
The walls are closing in on Andy quickly,
Hey, man.
and he's no longer able to keep up with his lies. He can't think of any possible reason why Riley would be afraid of him, or any explanation for why she would have sent her boyfriend those texts.
There's no way. There's no way you can ask your mother. The mother will tell you that it's not true.
I'm telling you, I read that with my own
Big
eyes
Mike,
today.
what up?
I don't know. I know.
So you see where that puts us?
Yeah, I understand, but the kid's not scared of me. I don't understand how you guys can say that.
Despite the damning physical evidence, Andy continues to insist
J. Cole
that there was
202.
no reason that Riley would have been afraid of him. Perhaps he thinks that if he denies this enough times, the cops will simply move on.
That she's not. That's your grandmother.
That's what she is saying.
She's saying that's why we're saying that. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors when
Dutch,
you know,
946.
you and Chantel are there, or Chantel and Riley are there, or we don't know. Okay, but obviously in her mind, she's afraid of you. Would you agree it doesn't make sense?
That doesn't make sense at all.
So does she have any reason to say that?
No.
Then why would she say that?
Oh, no.
At this point, the cops have given Andy an opportunity to come up with any sort of explanation at all, or even a lie. This would have been his chance to point towards something that may have happened in the past, even as simple as a disagreement between the two of them, as a possible reason Riley would have written these things. But Andy is not taking the bait.
Mono Great, Reblur, Carlos George,
She hate you? No. She don't hate you.
Mike Nack.
She loves me. So I'm asking you, I don't know that. Does she argue with you?
No, ever. We have
She never cuss at you, curse you out, nothing.
Never, nothing. In a year and a half, nothing.
Okay, so it sounds like to me she does love you so heartedly.
Yes.
Okay, so why would she say that?
Dane
I don't
4
know.
times,
Yeah,
Cal
I
920.
had one conflict.
Okay.
Me and the boy, yeah, we have.
Okay, but there's never been anything, like you said, a year and a half or the last several weeks, several months, several days, nothing that's you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one time she wanted this and I told her no. Maybe she got mad and she's
Nothing.
With all else failing, Andy would attempt to try and convince the cops that he shares the same sentiments as them.
But you see where that puts us, right?
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you guys are. I'm not mad that you guys are doing your job.
I mean, that's the last message he has from her.
I'm not mad that you guys are doing your job. I know you're doing your
Falling
job,
off
but
wolf, fallen wolf days. What
She
up?
wants to do her job. That's what we're doing.
I'm asking you to do your job. I'm not mad. You guys going on. Guys, I think he's a little pissed off, but nothing. There's nothing I can think of. She would be mad at me for, or she would be upset with me, or scared of me, or anything would be.
You didn't go in that room?
No.
She still had FaceTime one, too.
Okay, well, I was in that room.
The cops lacked probable cause at this time to arrest Andy, but there is one piece of evidence that is about to change the course of this entire investigation. It was around this time that the lab results on that blood sample would finally return, and it would be an exact match
Salty
to
tacos.
Andy's DNA. But that's not all. They also learned that the blood they tested was also mixed with saliva. This made the cops suspect that Riley's face may have been forced into the pillow in an attempt to keep her from screaming.
Damn.
This is an
Andy might be cooked, bro.
important development, but they still haven't located Riley, and they need to find more information about where Andy was during those 5 missing hours. Luckily, though, all of that can
Cash
be
Money
answered
Sniper.
in the CCTV footage that captured all of Andy's movements. There were cameras
This is another thing, man. I'll be trying to tell you, man. So at the early 2000s no more. This ain't the 90s, ain't the 80s, and so on, bro. They got cameras everywhere, man. Even places that's run down looking like...
attached to a nearby high school that captured Andy McCauley leaving his work site. That was the starting point of the investigation for the cops. They knew the direction of his travel, including the facts that he was on Route 9. An eyewitness who knew what Andy's vehicle looked like was able to confirm that she saw his truck backed up into the driveway of Riley's home in the middle of the day when he should have been at work. At this point, the cops believe that Andy killed Riley during the late night or early morning hours, likely to keep her from screaming while he assaulted her. They believe he then hid her body in the bedroom until everyone left, and then later returned to the house when it was empty to pick up her body and dispose of it. Using CCTV footage to guide them, and with the help of police canines trained to pick up Riley's scent, they search a nearby mountainous area. It is there that they tragically find Riley's decomposing body left in a secluded area. While this is the outcome that nobody wanted, it marks the turning point in the case. Near where Riley's body is found, there are several unique-looking screws discovered. These are the same screws that were located when the cops had searched Andy's vehicle the day previously. This is even further evidence that solidified the case against him, and 8 days after the discovery of Riley's body, Andy is arrested and charged with her murder. He pleaded not guilty. In the trial,
Why?
Andy's defense argued that the prosecution failed to provide a clear motive or definitive cause of death, as the exact cause could not be determined due to the body's decomposition. Despite this, the jury found significant evidence linking Macaulay to the crime, such as the presence of drywall mud on Crossman's body, which matched the drywall found in Macaulay's truck, and inconsistencies in Macaulay's statements about his whereabouts on the day of Crossman's disappearance. The jury deliberated for about 4 hours over the course of 2 days and decided that the monster who murdered Riley was none other than Andy Macaulay.
We, the members of the petit jury, as to the issues joined, find the defendant, Andrew J. Macaulay Jr., as follows. Count 1, murder. Guilty of murder in the first degree.
Finally, justice for Riley had been served. The only thing left was for Andy to be sentenced. The judge presiding over the case sealed his fate by giving him 2 life sentences. He will never see the light of day as a free man ever again. And most importantly, he will never be able to hurt another innocent child.
Good shit, man. Yo, first of all, Andy's a weird ass nigga, man. Like, dude is just cold. He probably was 100% off the drugs doing this, bro. And the cold part about all of this, man, dudes don't go back to work the next day and just continue on with his life, man. Like, for what? What was the purpose of him doing all this, dog? Another sad story, man. At least justice was served, man. He won't be able to smell fresh air until 4046 if he's alive.